Aloha guys, Chris here with Agents of Destruction, TCG Metals, whatever you want to call it, here with a deck profile. I just played at the CoreTCG Regionals with Android 16, ended up 9th place at the end, went undefeated up until the last 2 rounds, which both had the exact same scenario, which is crazy. We'll get into that later. But I wanted to give you guys a deck profile because I've been working on this for a couple months now, and ever since Evolution Booster, because it's just like when you read this card, you're like, this is broken. But no one plays blue right now, at least until after the ban list when blue becomes good again. But let's hop right into it. So we got Android 16 leader. This is the metal gold one that I made. What he does, just for you guys who don't know, he negates the energy exhaust of all Android 16s with a rival blue-green in your energy. So the worst part about multicolor was you have to charge it tapped, and once you remove that, now you just have a really good blue-green deck. And then on the front side, when he swings, you discard a blue or green Android and then draw 2. And then his awakened condition, you either do it at 4 life, or if there's 5 energy between you and your opponent, you can do it. And what you do is you untap 1, draw 1, and then you go down to 5 life. So similar to King Vegeta in that sense, on the going down to 5 life. And then on the awakened side, what he does still negates the energy exhaust, but the best part, what he adds, is now you can arrival from your energy. And then when you do, you charge the top card of your deck. And it's any blue-green arrival card. So like as time progresses and we get more generic good arrival cards, all of them can be played in this deck. So like he's a good long-term leader in my opinion for blue-green. And then his activate battle, which makes him extra beefy, is the once per turn you get to use a blue-green multicolor Android card in your drop area and combo with it. So it's just, he's essentially a 25k on attack or on defense, or any of your cards get that extra 10k, and then it lets you arrival. So he doesn't draw, which is kind of where all of that really comes into play, similar to how the red Beerus leader was. So we're going to hop right into it with the 16s. You got the main card of the deck here, Android 16, Energy Amplification. This is the main starter, really, of the deck. What he does, 2, he ramps. So the reason why this is important is because if you go second, this is how you awaken on your turn 2. So versus aggro, you have to awaken as soon as possible. So you want to see him and then just go up to 3 energy on your turn 2, and now you have 5 between you and your opponent, and now you can just kind of turn on your leader's defensive capabilities by having him. He is searchable too, which is nice. That is with this guy, Android 16, Stalwart Defender. And then what he does, arrival for 1 blue energy, and then you can't play copies of him for the turn, so you can only do 1 per turn, which is fine. You can either pop a 4-drop or less, or search the 2-drop 16. What's really good with him is as long as he sits in your energy, now your opponent has to be like, okay, I can't finish or close out a game with a 4-drop or less battle card. So the Piccolo Jr., any of the small beefy guys like from Gogeta Black, any of those cards can no longer be finishers. So that's why I play him as 4 of. And then we go into the 6-drop. He's probably the best of the 16s, just because he has way too many keyword skills. Dual attack, revenge, blocker, arrival for 2 energy, 1 blue, 1 green, and then as long as your as long as your leader is blue or green, blue or green, when you play him, your opponent discards a card from their hand, or if you combo with him, they discard a card from their hand, from your hand specifically. That's why he's a 1 cost 5k. And then he's dual attack revenge blocker, so like you do him defensively, they're losing another card and any of the cards they've just comboed against you, and then you get to block and kill a battle card swing. Another really good thing about him too is like with blockers, The easiest way to get around a rival decks is just attacking their Unison, so they don't have a defensive combo step. So having blockers in this game, or in this deck specifically, allows you to kind of mitigate that loss of not having, just them plowing down your Unison and you not being able to rival. And then just to finish up the 16 lineup, we play 3 of the Android 16 Steadfast Ally. He is your game ender. I don't play 4. 4 is super unnecessary. You're only going to resolve 2 maximum, really, because if you haven't won by that point, then you're probably not playing the deck right. But he's a 25k double strike for 4 energy arrival. When he swings, your opponent discards a card, but his best auto is when you play him, you get to search your deck for an Android 21 card, 5 or less, and then play an Android 21 card with 5 or less from your hand. It doesn't have to be the one you searched. And the targets we play for that are 2 of the Beautiful Scientist and 1 of the Bad Omen. I've seen lists play 3 of this, multiples, it's not necessary. This card is amazing because it's a blocker for starters, and then when you play it, you get to pop any of your opponent's battle card, doesn't matter about the energy cost, and then search the top 7 cards of your deck and charge the energy. So you can put these 16s in your energy, you can put whatever you want, and then you have a blocker for the defensive options. And then Bad Omen is for your game ender. So it's essentially like a Champa but better, because it turns any single strike damage into a double strike, and any double strike damage into triple strike. So you go, let's just say you're swinging with this guy, right? 20k, you're going to combo with your leader, going up to 30, combo whatever you want, tap your 4, arrival this, mid-battle, of course, search, play, kill an energy. So now they're down from 2 to 1, and they can't really interact with this play. I mean, you can with the blue trunks, but aside from that, which you're probably going to kill their Unisons before you would do a big play like that anyway. So there's no way to stop them from getting that 1 damage burnt. And then let's go into the Android 18 stuff. This is your number 1 drop Android 18 Speedy Sub. Ideally, this is your favorite turn 1 opening hand, is any of these 16s and 1 Speedy Sub. Tapper for 1, search the top 5 for a blue or green Android, add it to your hand, and then at the end phase, you can energy swap. The really cool thing about this that you want to always keep in mind is you can only add blue and green card from your energy to your hand, but you can charge any card. So if you don't have any mono blue and you're sitting on your Boo Unison, you can put a mono blue in there. That way you have something to untap on your opponent's turn. And then that way, if you charge with her like a super combo, you can add that to your hand and then just charge like another one of her, or a Sensubi, any of those mono blue cards that you aren't going to need. The choice for the super combo is Android 18 Bionic Blitz. Everybody knows what she does. They bottom deck a card when you combo with her. She's blue-green, free, so helps with your rival plays. But the one thing about this deck that I think is why I feel it's so slept on is its hand control. It's a blue deck that plays hand control. So if you remember Piccolo, Surge Piccolo, how strong he was, this is essentially a Surge Piccolo deck without the Surge effect. So instead of you just getting to free rip cards from their hand, you can do it with all your battle cards. And then you have all the benefits of playing blue. So, effectively, your leader is a blue-green leader. And then, to finish up the Androids 18s, we're going to play 2 of our finisher, Android 17 and 18 Siblings Revived. This card is an auto-win against every deck that isn't just super aggro, which post-ban list, let's face it, there's still going to be aggro, but it's not going to be as broken, like with Dark Broly, King Vegeta, any Heartfelt Plea deck is not going to be there anymore. So this instantly wins all those other games because your ramp, typically you'll be at 8 energy on turn 5. And that's assuming that you don't do the Android 21 play. That's just like, let's say you play a couple of the 16 ramps. But that's why I also play her, is to get that as fast as possible. Because when you pop this card, it's 25k deflect, dual attack, double strike. When it's played, you get to choose all of your opponents, any of your opponent's battle cards ignoring barrier, place them in the drop area, and then when it swings, you get to look at your opponent's hand, rip 2 cards out into their energy, and then restand and do it again. So you rip 4 cards, charging their energy in rest mode. So you have the hand control finishing there, and you just have the knowledge to know that, okay, I can swing into this. And if they negate it, they're still gonna lose. They're gonna lose 3 cards now, or 4 if they do like violent raise or a discard negate. So yeah, this card would not take it out, would not change it. It is MVP. It won my blue matchups for the day, so can't complain there. This is going to be the last Android battle card in the deck. This is my personal tech, Android 20 Vial Creator. I put him in here for Dark Broly, and he did exactly what I wanted him to do. I don't think I would take him out either. When you swing with your battle card, like let's say this guy, because this is the main reason I play it. When you combo with it, it's a Champa, except better, because what it does, it's a 5k 1 cost. It gives your Android card, leader battle card, plus 5,000 and double strike for the turn, and then that 5 extra for the combo power. So you swing with this dual attacker, you combo this, he's a 30k double strike, and then when you untap him and you swing again, now he's a 25 double strike. So it's just a lot of pressure, and then that in conjunction with the 21 makes 3 energy a lot less safe, and makes it to where your opponent really has to think, especially in the game 2 and 3. I feel like this deck is much more amazing in a best of 3 format, which hopefully we get to those soon, but it still did well in best of 1. And then we'll go into the last of the battle cards before I get into the extra stuff. Played 1 Piccolo, Simulated Ability. This card is great in certain matchups, like King Piccolo, any rogue matchup, Bojack, all of those. It's just good to play and keep drawing, because your leader doesn't draw on the Awakened side. So you just kind of want to have him there. He's Bond 2, pop a 5-drop or less. So he kind of hits the cards that your 5-drop doesn't hit, has barrier. So, I mean, can't go wrong there. And then we got the Great Ape, the Dry Ape. This is a risky card to play, because if you charge it, you are not happy. It's essentially a dead energy. You can't play your Unisons, you can't play any of your rivals. But it's necessary, since you don't draw any of those hand control matchups, or the matchups where they like Android 16 you, because these games can go to that energy. You need it. Like, it wins all the games. So like the risk definitely is outweighed by the reward. The SCR of choice is the Baby Hatch. It's the best secret in the game, especially now that Celzino is effectively much worse now. You already know what it does, and need to explain it. It won every game I saw. It was a winning game, and there were a couple games that I didn't even have to play it. But the sad thing about this card was my last 2 games, which I lost, I used this to search my deck on turn 1, so I could see if the Baby Hatch was in my life or not, so I could play, and it was in my life, my 7th and 8th round. And so I'm like, okay, I'll take life so I can see this. I'll ramp with the 16, so I'll be at 3 life, or 3 energy on my turn 2, because I lost the die roll both times too. And it was my last life in both games, both versus King Vegeta, so very sad. But seeing this card is, makes all the difference versus the aggro matchups. We're going to hop into the obvious Unison of choice. Wouldn't play any other Unison. Majin Buu, Assault of the Agents of Destruction. This card is probably the best Unison in the game, like especially for blue. Piccolo Jr. is really good, Piccolo, yeah. But this card, 4 blue energy, so that's another reason why this hurts, charging a yellow. Because you can't play this on your turn 3 if you charge it. But for 4 blue, it's a double strike blocker, draw a card, untap a mono blue at the start of their turn, and then when they swing, you can -1 to bottom deck a battle card. It's just great defense. It's just amazing. Amazing pressure, because when you swing with it and you use your leader, activate battle, you combo 10k. It's a 30k double strike that is very little interactability. And then it also turns on one of the best free counterplays for Unisons, God Sealing Technique. No explanation there. It's super self-explanatory. And then 2, Heroic Prospects. That's kind of where this Android 18 comes into play, is so you can have your mono blue to untap with your Unison, and then just have him for like the Dark Broly matchup. And probably the Gogeta Xeno matchup too, because that deck's probably going to be very relevant next set. So I don't think he's going to go anywhere. Maybe even up to 3. And then the last 8 cards to round off the 50 card deck. The 4 Beans. This card is a lot more relevant in this deck than other blue, in my opinion, because you're rivaling, and you untap that one with your Unison, then you can go untap 2, and now you have your rival play for the 16. So it kind of like turns all of your energy plays into an additional energy arrival. So that's why I play 4 of it. And then 4D Magic for a similar reason. You want those negates for the Unison play, when they swing on your Unison, with like their Unison or their leader. I don't know why anybody would play 3 of this. Yes, they play cards that punish you, but you can have your spot removal with the 5-drop. So yeah, 4 of that. That rounds up to the 50 card deck. My rounds, I played 2 Dark Broly, very close games, but ended up finishing it with Bad Omen in conjunction with 20 Vial Creator, both games. It's just, when you do that soft hand control, like, it doesn't seem like much, but then when you get to those pushing games, they're like, oh yeah, I only have 6 cards in hand, I only have 4 cards in hand, because you've just slowly been removing cards from their hand throughout the game, and they've been comboing because they know that you have a free 10k. So it's just that soft control aspect really comes into play with your finishers. And then I played against Skills Gohan. That was a good matchup, but this deck destroys blue. It's like the ultimate anti-blue, because you punish their Unison, you have the hand control part, which blue's worst matchup has always been hand control. And yeah, they can't get rid of, well, they can't get rid of barrier removal, but neither can you, and most of the blue cards don't really have barrier anyway, so it's just a great matchup for this. And then I also played SS3 reboot. Similar game, similar setup. It's just blue-green has a really good blue matchup. And then I played 4 King Vegeta. I beat 2. Let's see. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, and 4 King Vegeta. And beat 2. And then the 7th and 8th round versus Robert Reitz and Abel, lost those. And that was the Baby Hatch story I was telling you earlier. Just last life. Almost identical lines of play where they open really well, and it's just, you play differently when you know that you have a card that says no for your turn, and you know it's in your life. You just kind of like, okay, I can be a little loose. So that was probably definitely like, they were great games, right? Can't say anything bad about them, but it's probably something to reflect on, is just because you know it's there and there's a high chance you will get it doesn't mean you will. So always play to be safe, especially with a mid-range control deck like this. Probably going to play this next week, and onward, and keep going with it, especially with the new card next set that just got revealed today. Don't know how I'd probably play 3 of it. Revive Blocker is cool, but you're still having a discard for it, so that's okay. But anyway, thanks guys for tuning in, and have a wonderful day.